There's a line between expansion and full-blown sequel, but Monster Hunter World Iceborne and its horde of content tramples all over it. It adds a story nearly as large as the base games, with almost as many new monsters to kill, carve up, and wear like a celebratory tuxedo. Couple that with innumerable quality of life improvements and some fun surprises along the way, and Iceborne manages to hit the high bar set by Monster Hunter World no matter what you call it. Iceborne's story is just as amusing yet inconsequential as the original. Monsters are behaving erratically, a dangerous new Elder Dragon has appeared, and an exciting snow-covered land is waiting to be explored. It's still pretty much just an excuse to show you all the new stuff Iceborne has to offer, but the excellent as ever cutscenes have a heavier emphasis on character. That makes the story slightly more engaging.
Besides, ordering someone to be a commander doesn't make them one.
No time is wasted in tempting you away from your hard-earned high-rank gear. The introduction of the all-new Master rank brings an entirely new tier of equipment, where basic stuff like bone and alloy armor has substantially more defense than even the best high rank has to offer. While it was tough to leave my lovely Xeno'jiva wings behind, this reset was far more exciting than it was frustrating. The loot chase is fully reinvigorated, especially thanks to new level 4 decoration slots that can hold 2 skills in one, offering more than just a numerical draw. Iceborne also clearly wants you to upgrade your armor fast, as early sets can be hilariously cheap to craft. Weapons, on the other hand, take a little more time. Every tree has been extended, with the previous peak of Rarity 8 now potentially stretching all the way up to the ever-sparkling icons of Rarity 12. But it took longer than I would have liked to get my hands on these cool new toys. Where World stretched 8 tiers of rarity over its roughly 40-hour campaign, Iceborne has to stretch just 4 tiers over a similar length, making weapon progress feel ever so slightly stunted. But once you get there, these late-game weapons can be among the coolest looking in World so far, like the return of this ridiculous Rathalos hammer. Regardless of what you're turning them into, the new monsters themselves are awesome and plentiful. Honestly, there isn't really a dud amongst them. I especially love the antlered Banburrow, but my favorite was probably the incredible new Elder Dragon Namiel, which has surprises I won't spoil. Returning monsters like Barioth and Nargacuga are also great, probably kicking my butt harder than anything else. Master rank versions of World's monsters have received small but refreshing tweaks too, like Tzitzi-Ya-Ku now changing directions in a fun but slightly infuriating way. I want to be clear about how much I enjoyed all of this and how creative and exciting Iceborne's monsters are, because I do have one bone to pick. Iceborne relies too heavily on subspecies and variants of existing monsters. Veteran Monster Hunter fans might not have much of a problem with this because it follows a similar trend as expansions from previous games, but these remixed encounters represent about half of the roughly 24 monsters added. That's not to undersell these fights though. When creating a subspecies like the Coral Puke, Capcom did far more than just color it red and replace its poison with water. It has new special moves, new behaviors, and new environmental interactions. Most really do feel like fun, unique fights, but they're still not quite as exciting as any of Iceborne's entirely new monsters. I like them, I just wish the balance of content hadn't leaned quite so hard on familiar faces. Iceborne's signature new location, the Hoarfrost Reach, is a fantastic addition to World. Even covered in white powder, it feels varied thanks to its icy caverns, hot springs, snowy fields, and acid-filled underground layers to fight in. My favorite spot is a frozen cliff face where whole sections of the ground can come crumbling down underneath you. The new town of Seliana is exciting too, but for a different reason. It's flat. Seliana was clearly designed with usability in mind. Its spiderweb of paths and small size make moving between NPCs extremely convenient. It's not quite as pretty as Astera, but it's still packed with charming little details, and I've been whistling its theme music for weeks. Plus, the Graham Meowster's Made with Love recipes won my heart right away. Seliana's Gathering Hub is also a cut above. It's stylish and fun while also including absolutely everything you might want to check between missions, making its usefulness over the Astera Gathering Hub incomparable. Meanwhile, the new personal room in Seliana is customizable to a hysterical degree. It's a needlessly elaborate system, but that didn't stop me from spending way too many hours and research points making it just right. Countless quality of life improvements have been made as well, from simple UI tweaks to being able to fire your slinger with your weapon drawn. You can even ride a small automated monster toward your target now, letting you use items and sharpen on its back to cut out some of the more tedious downtime during hunts. In combat, every weapon has been given a couple new attacks to freshen up their moveset, but the biggest addition to all of them is the Clutch Claw. This tool is a little unintuitive to learn at first, but can be incredibly powerful when mastered. Grappling onto a monster will let you wound a part so it takes more damage, or even potentially drive it into a wall for a big hit and a free knockdown. These tricks offer a whole extra layer of strategy to fights, helping you take on the hardest Iceborne has to offer. Speaking of, Iceborne's endgame shakes things up in a very unexpected way. Without spoiling anything, I'll just say that the post-credits content goes in an extremely cool direction that's unlike anything World has had before. Monster Hunter World Iceborne adds a boatload of impressive monsters and improvements to an already incredible game. It's almost big enough to be a sequel in terms of the sheer amount of content it adds, even if it leans a little bit too heavily on subspecies and variants of familiar monsters at times. Though again, that might not bother you if you're a longtime Monster Hunter fan. Either way, Iceborne is exciting and creative, reiterating Monster Hunter World's place as one of the very best games of this generation. For more on Iceborne, check out 13 Clutch Claw tips, how to do every new weapon attack, or if you're just getting started, check out our review of the base game. And for everything else, keep it right here on IGN.